Hey guys, welcome back to another video, where today we beat the Tower of Frightening Nightmares. First off, take your time with this head hitter to make sure you're not going to the climbing animation. These first few floors are pretty short, nothing too difficult about them. Already onto floor 2. Here we have a couple of 10-stud wraparounds. These are conveyors. The first one shoves you to the right, the second one boosts you to the left. These platforms full, so just go fast. And we are already on the final part of floor 2. Here, jump off like that, press space first. Do a head hitter here. And if you're trying to beat this tower, hopefully you're consistent at 10-stud wraparounds, because there's a lot. This platform, you use the platforms below to show you where to go. Now, this head hitter here, this one right here, is probably the hardest jump on floor 3, so line it up. Now, there's multiple ways to do this kill brick section. I prefer wrapping around like this. I don't like walking across because I don't find that consistent. Now this floor, there's a skip that skips pretty much the whole floor, meaning you can do it in about 20 seconds. And that is right here. You can jump on top of this kill brick wraparound. Do a reasonably long jump to here. And then high jump these wraparounds. And already onto floor 5. Now this floor is where things really start to ramp up in the tower. And this is probably going to be the first roadblock if you begin grinding. This part is pretty trash. You can just lag high jump up to here. You can skip it if you want to, but it's all netted, so it doesn't really matter. Careful not to fall, there's a bunch of soft locks. This is also a soft lock. Heal up here, so you have a bit of a kill brick maze. Just follow where I go. And now onto the main outside section. This right here is the first proper roadblock to beating the tower. I prefer doing these wraparounds in first person, but I recommend practicing so you have the muscle memory. A couple of 2-stud walkarounds, and you're done. Now this head hitter, I recommend just treating it like a normal head hitter. It usually works, it's usually consistent. You will fall a few times, but there is not a 100% consistent way to do that jump. Onto floor 6. This truss section is garbage, and I confess to having skipped it with a lag high jump like that. The reason being, I was mostly failing when I got to these truss sections. It was just ending my run. And it doesn't really add any difficulty to the tower. Using that shortcut is not needed. However, there is a skip on floor 6 that I do recommend using. After climbing that small stud, this is the skip. So these kill bricks I can collide true right here, so you can jump on it and wait. Now instead of jumping to the next spinner, go around here and jump to here. Now this platform here is a pretty fast conveyor, be careful. I recommend just holding A and jumping pretty much immediately. And then these wraparounds are garbage, especially the one in the middle there. At least the ones on the edges you can use the wall of the wraparound. But now we're on to floor 7. There's another massive lag high jump skip if you jump on top of those wraps, and you can skip a lot, including the outside section. But I didn't use it for this run, as I wanted my run to be somewhat legit. After that abysmal lag high jump skip on floor 6. It's probably one of the harder parts of the floor. I recommend jumping near the edge of the falling platform, and then climbing on. It's pretty consistent if you do it that way. Onto the outside. I recommend using your alignment keys, like this, to let yourself slide down. Now once you get near to the end of this truss, start getting ready to go around the corner, like that, and climb up. Once you do that, we are back inside the tower. Now this jump is slightly difficult. I did a really weird strategy, which was like high jumping whilst doing the wraparound, and it sort of worked. But also doing the wrap normally should just be fine. If you have T-pose, I really recommend it. It saves you so much time having to heal. There's another skip here that you can lodge yourself up like that guy's doing. This is another major skip. It skips the hardest part of floor 8, as well as the end of floor 7. But I also do not use that one. Onto floor 8. This floor is pretty difficult. As you've noticed, these floors are getting pretty long now, compared to the first few. Here, just spam space until you get through. This is a very long jump right here, so take your time lining up. This is a conveyor. Let yourself hit the kill brick and then wrap around. Now this is the hardest part of 8. I recommend doing them in first person and then zoom out to line up the jump. Also practice this a lot beforehand. However, the hard jumps are still not done with this floor. This wraparound right here is pretty trash. I recommend staying away from the wall for a second, hover mid-air, and then go in like that, so you don't get flat-sided. And now, we're on to 8 outside. This outside section is not too difficult, so don't worry. Unless you're on mobile, in which case, have fun with this tightrope part. If you're on computer, use your alignment keys. Jump across to this one. Do not bother with the last one, as it's slightly off-center. Just jump straight to there. Once you get to the end of this outside, we are done with the floor. This section, these are actually one-stud platforms. You can just see the tiny bit above the kill brick floor, which is can collide false, by the way. If you fall down there, you can escape actually by jumping up one of the one-studs. Now here I did another skip, like I jumped up here, right onto this conveyor, so be careful. Reason being, it skips a pretty trash section that's almost log based, so I just didn't really want to have to deal with that. That is the only other skip I used. Now this section is pretty scary. I found a pretty nice way of doing it, which you can just line it up. You can just keep wrapping around here and wait for a moment where the swinging platform does not get in your way. Which is actually most moments, and then just jump across. Now this is pretty difficult. What I do is I just wait here for the platform to stop wobbling so much. And then when it becomes calmer like this, I just walk off. After this, we have some falling platforms, and the rest of this floor is pretty easy. Be on the edge of this pusher so you can wrap around. Couple more jumps, and we will be on to the final floor. These are 12-stud jumps. I prefer jumping forward like that to climb. I found this easier. Again, T-pose would be super helpful for these kill brick wraparounds. Now for one of the scariest parts of the floor. This is a really long jump here, so I recommend treating it like one. Just like that. Practice that jump as well. This tightrope is pretty difficult. I recommend really lining yourself up. Otherwise, that will happen. After a bit more grinding, I managed to make it back up to 10. Unfortunately, I failed this jump right here, but managed to catch myself on the floor 8 spinner. It was a pretty smooth run back up, although I had a close call on this floor 9 platform, almost failing. However, I luckily managed to make it back to the dreaded tightrope. And luckily, I got to the end. The rest of the tower is not as difficult. This is the last part of the inside. I recommend holding W and D here, just to be extra safe. Now this section, I really recommend using your alignment keys, the way I do. As you can see, it drops you down, and if you get it the right amount like that, you can walk under. And now, we've made it to the final outside. This is really easy, however, nerves are pretty high at this point.
Yes! Yes! No way! No! No way! That was crazy.